It's no secret that we paint a lot of flowers around here, so in today's video, I'm sharing 3 card designs that are perfect for the little boys in your life. Hey friends, what's up? Welcome back. My name is Shayda Campbell and today's video is much requested. We are making some greeting cards for boys. So a little less flowers, a little more fun, boyish stuff, I guess. I'm working on 140-pound hot pressed paper. It has a nice smooth texture. You don't want to paint right on your greeting cards. I just get these cheap blank cards at the dollar store and then I cut a little piece of watercolor paper to fit. So use whatever watercolor paper you like and just cut it to fit your little 4x6 or 5x7 card. Okay, so we'll start with that. I have my watercolor paints, 2 glasses of clean water, paper towel for blotting my brush. Got a whole bunch of brushes here, but we're doing some really simple painting. So you probably just need like one smallish round paintbrush, something like a number 3 or 4, maybe a little larger. And then you're going to need a pencil and eraser and a fine liner. And it helps if you have some fine liners that are waterproof, something like a mulatto black liner. All my supplies are of course linked in the video description. Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you 3 really simple card designs. So let's just jump right in. Our first card has a cute bear on it, and I start by drawing an oval for his snout, and then we just draw his nose in a line and 2 little eyes, and you can see his face emerges quite quickly. Then you're kind of just going to frame his face with that big round head, and drop down and do an even rounder body, 2 little ears, and then we'll have 2 little arms kind of sticking off the side as well. I'm going to add a cute little balloon. You could give him a little thumb so it looks like he's holding the balloon, and that's about it. Before I paint anything, I like to get rid of all my pencil and eraser and clean everything up so that we don't have pencil showing through our paint. But otherwise, that's it. We'll set that aside and we'll try another card design. This one's gonna have a dinosaur. So this Brontosaurus starts with a big semicircle. Just do the semicircle first, and then you're kind of gonna give that semicircle a little tail. And then we're gonna come over here and give that semicircle a long neck with a tiny little head. You could even make that neck longer. And then just do some very simple feet. Like, you don't have to know how to draw feet for this. We could give him some spots, and maybe we could put a sun or a palm tree. Remember, just keep it simple. This is supposed to be fun and cutesy. Okay, the last card design is a Shayda classic. I can't do a card video without showing you this one. It starts with a hand-drawn border. Just pull that pen towards your body to help you keep it steady and make a simple border. This is the card I make when I need a birthday card at the last minute. Put a little pencil line to help your message stay centered. Then write happy birthday. I like to do a mix of upper and lowercase letters and go over it with your fine liner. Finally, we're just gonna add a really simple little drawing. And for this one, I'm drawing mushrooms. You could do 1 mushroom, you can do a cluster, just some wonky semicircles and shapes with some stems and maybe a little bit of grass. You can keep this very, very basic. The more simple, I think the cuter the card looks. All you really need here is some kind of tiny illustration and the whole card works really well. You're gonna go over your illustration with your pen. I'm using, I think, an 09 millimeter, and that's about it. Now we can add some color either with pencil crayon or brush marker or watercolor, and you've got a card that you made in like 5-10 minutes. So with that said, let's add some color to these cards. I've got my watercolors already here, and I'm going to start with the mushrooms. I am mixing up a little bit of red, just scrub at that cake of paint, bring the pigment over to the palette and give yourself a little color. You can mix a little brown in if you feel like your red is too bright, and then grab a bit of green as well, and that's where we'll start. Now I am just using my small round brush and we're going to add a little bit of color to these mushroom caps. I'm going to just go around the little spots that I drew, but you could just paint the whole mushroom cap red and then come back in later with a white gel pen or a bit of white gouache or acrylic paint. So do whatever feels comfortable for you. I sort of liked the perfectly imperfect look of like trying to miss the spots but kind of mess them up a little bit as well, if that makes sense. Once those are all red, we can add a little bit of green to our grass line. I'm just keeping the paint right by the mushrooms there, right across the top. Then I'm going to rinse my brush, and with a wet, clean brush, I'm just going to blend that green out ever so slightly. This is a simple trick that's going to give you a really nice effect and just make your card look so profesh. And you could even add a little bit of gray under the mushroom cap if you like. And that's it, guys. 10-minute birthday card. Moving on, I want to mix up a color for the dinosaur. Now, of course, any color goes. Do the child's favorite color, whether it's green or purple. I'm mixing blue with violet to give me a nice rich sort of periwinkle blue, and I might add a little bit of white to that as well. I always like those pastel colors, but really, truly, this dino can be any color. We're going to slap that blue paint on our dinosaur. If you do have a larger brush, this is when you might want to use it. I'm using my number 8 round brush and just filling in his neck, head, his big hump body. And then I kind of left his belly and legs alone, and I did the same thing I did with the grass, where I'm just using a wet, clean brush to kind of blend the blue out, and that way his belly looks like it's a little bit lighter, but it's a very subtle thing. I'm also grabbing a bit of a darker blue and just adding a little bit of darker color along his back. Just a little wet into wet. Then I'm painting a big yellow sun just to kind of fill out the illustration, and that's it. Let's let that dry and we'll add some color to our bear. So he's quite cute. I am going to start with his belly. I am using raw sienna, and we are just going to fill in a big sort of semicircle across his bottom bit here, and we'll use the same color for his little snout. Then, while that is still wet, I'm going to grab a red, and we're going to put some color on the balloon. Of course, you can use any color. Favorite colors are good here. We've allowed that belly to dry slightly, but not fully. And so now I come back in with some red-brown. And we are going to just fill in the rest of his body with a nice dark brown. Like I said, I'm using red-brown, but any color goes. And if you get a little bit of blending with the brown and the raw sienna, that's good. If it's already dried, that's fine. We're just going to fill in the rest of his body. Again, a larger brush is probably a little bit better here, especially if your card is like a 5x7, your bear's looking big. So fill in the body. And then I decided that I did want a little more blending, so I just kind of took some raw sienna and mixed that in a little bit and kind of made a bit of a mess there, and then put a little bit of a darker smudge on his nose and a nice dark brown under his snout and in his ears. Now we let the bear and the dinosaur dry completely, and when they are dry, we add the fine liner. So it's sort of the opposite of the mushroom card, but if you think you would be more comfortable adding the brush pen first and then kind of filling in with the watercolor, almost like a coloring page, just like we did with the mushrooms, do that. You know, the order doesn't matter. I wanted to show you both ways. This way we just need to wait for the paint to dry, and then we come in and we give our dino a nice outline, maybe an eye. And the nice thing about this is, even after you've added that black fine liner, if you want to do more watercolor, you can. And I just mixed up a little violet, and I'm giving him a couple spots. I felt like he needed some spots, and then that's done. And the only thing left to do now is complete our bear birthday card. So we're gonna do this one the same way. The watercolor has dried, and now we add the fine liner. I'm using an 0.9mm, so quite a large weighty nib, gives me a nice thick line. I'm adding my hand-drawn border, which really finishes the card in a nice way. And then of course I need to give the bear sort of these details like the eyes and his snout and his little nose. We'll draw the balloon string as well as outline the balloon. And then at this point you could be done. You could just say that's that, maybe give him some little hairs along his belly and then be done at that point. But I think I will outline the entirety of the bear, and that also allows me to draw in his little thumb and palm and make it look like he's really holding the balloon. Like my shirt? You can get one for yourself. Check the merch shelf below this video. To complete our cards, we just need to add some messages, whether it's a birthday or whatever. For this one, I wanted to simply write, just wanted to say I love you. And I started with those 2 lines, so I knew that just wanted to say was going to be longer. So I've got stacked lines, a longer one above a shorter one. And it makes it really easy to keep your print centered. Just make sure to do it in pencil first. That's looking good. I'm going to grab my dino card here. And for this one, I did a little bit of a larger message saying, wow, you're 4. And I do this print where I go over it once with my fine liner, and then I just go around again and kind of thicken the line. It's very perfectly imperfect. It's a great sort of simple, silly font if you're kind of scared of doing lettering. This one is very, very foolproof. So yeah, that's done. We're going to erase all of the pencil that might still be on the illustration or the text. And all we have to do is stick these little guys on the cards. You can use rubber cement or a glue stick or even just some washi tape, whatever works for you. I'm going to quickly put some tape on there, stick it down, and that looks so cute. Of course, watercolor paper is quite thick as well, so you could always just write a message on the back and leave it at that. A little less paper used. And that's it, guys. 3 simple cards for boys and girls. Just basically some kids cards that don't have flowers on them that I hope you'll really like. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see cards maybe for older kids, these ones are a little juvenile, comment below what do you want to see next time. Thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and I'll see you soon.